the CDC just issued guidelines for schools to reopen. They said that children don't suffer much from coronavirus and are less likely than adults to spread it and suffer from being out of school. We're not going to argue that point. What we are going to discuss in our tech segment with Dan Howley is how back to school is going to get helped by tech.
That's right, yes. Regardless of whether or not your kid is going back to school physically or is doing distance learning, they're going to need some new gear. And I've got the best suggestions for you. Now, let's start off with the big thing that every kid probably needs now, a laptop. I personally enjoy the Dell XPS 13 for $999 and Apple's MacBook Air for $999 as well. But you can get student pricing on that MacBook Air, so you get it at $899, a whopping $100 off. But both are incredibly slim and light, so eventually when they do get back to school, they'll be able to throw it in their backpack and carry it no problem, throw it over their shoulder bag without issue if they're going off to college. I would recommend, though, getting an upgraded version of each. We're talking about a system with maybe an Intel Core i5, 8 gigs of RAM, and 512 gigabytes of storage. Once you have something like that, you're pretty much all set for the rest of the year. If you're working from home or if your kid's going to be doing schooling from home, though, you're also going to need a good Wi-Fi setup. And usually that means you're going to have some dead zones. And if you want to avoid those, get a mesh router. These are kind of routers where you have one station set up and then they'll bounce off of other stations throughout your home, blanketing it in Wi-Fi connectivity. And the two that I go for are the Nest Wi-Fi from Google and the Era Wi-Fi setup. The Era Wi-Fi setup, by the way, can get you up to 5,000 square feet of coverage for $269, and the Google one could get you 3,800 square feet of coverage for $269 as well. I also want to talk about Chromebooks. Chromebooks are basically laptops that aren't necessarily as expensive. They also can't quite do as much, but if your student is just doing online learning, things along those lines, then my recommendation would be to go with the Pixelbook Go from Google. It's one of the best out there. It's got the best feel, the best keyboard, and you can't go wrong. It is a little bit pricey at $649 though, so it's not quite that $999 or $899, but it is a little on the expensive side. I would also say, if you're a kid, you probably want to drown out your parents if you're working from home, or if you just need time to study and unwind. I would suggest getting a pair of wireless earbuds. And unfortunately, the best ones still are Apple's AirPods Pro. They are $249. They have active noise canceling technology. You can still get the original AirPods. Those are for $149, but they don't have that active noise canceling. And then if you don't want to go with Apple, Sony's got a great pair of noise canceling headphones. Google has its own headphones, the Pixel Buds. They don't have noise canceling. And Microsoft, believe it or not, has a pair called the Surface Earbuds that are also just as good, but they don't have noise canceling either. And then finally, I just want to talk about smart speakers. If you're going off to university eventually, or you just need your kid to wake up on time, you can get them a small Echo Dot or a Nest Mini. And basically, those are just little speakers that have those voice assistants in them. The Echo Dot, though, also has a clock in it, so it kind of doubles in functions. You can get the Nest Mini for $49 and the Echo Dot for $59, and happy shopping.
Dan Howley giving us a boost about smart speakers, although if you look at some of our college transcripts, we'd probably do better with average speakers. Thank you very much, Dan Howley.